Hello, sweet baby. So today we're going to be talking about the verdict of the presidential election of 2024. So I'm pretty much just making this video to pretty much give updates as well as give a little bit of insight because it seems like a lot of people are actually a bit scared and they don't know what to do next. So I'm just trying to give a little bit of insight as well as updating and, showing you guys some things that I've seen over the course of yesterday into today. So if you guys were unaware, you do need 270 electoral votes in order to win the presidency. Kamala Harris was very close, but it did seem like throughout the entirety of the election and them counting the electoral votes that she just wasn't getting enough to be in the lead of Donald Trump. Little Duval actually came forth and said, seemed like way more people mad online than on this map. And I must say that I have to agree with him because I'm going to show you guys what actually Azealia Banks came forth and said. So Azealia Banks actually stated that she ended up voting for Donald Trump rather than voting for Kamala Harris, which she had stated that she was going to do previously. So she actually let us in on her voting book and she said, LMAO, I lied. I voted for Trump yesterday. And this was a list of the demographics that actually voted for Trump as well as Kamala Harris. So you can clearly see the demographic and who voted where, how it all went down. So, now we have a bit of an insight as to whom voted for who. We can't really put the blame all on one specific group of people because there was a massive amount of people that had voted Donald Trump in over Kamala Harris. I even made a comment onto my Insta story yesterday while watching everything unfold, and I said that I feel like people thought that maybe the Instagram polls that these big platforms have was actually them voting. Because it really just didn't make much sense that Kamala was getting this much popularity, but yet the outcome came out to be Donald Trump. So for those of you that are unaware, I'm going to say this, and it's not in a way to demean your character or demean your intelligence. But judging by this, and judging by the amount of people that actually supported Kamala Harris, I want to let you guys know that if Kamala was somebody that you were voting for, that you actually have to get up and physically go to a location that is offering for you to vote on an official ballot. It does not count if you vote for Kamala Harris through Instagram polls, stories, or comment sections. That actually does nothing for her, and in the end, it can actually result into what actually did end up happening, which is Donald Trump becoming president. There was even a social media user that came forth and stated that she didn't want to be a SL Ave because Donald Trump was actually president of the United States. I just want to let you know that this is actually factual. That cannot happen. I'm going to express to you why. I'm certain that some of you may not be aware of this because I know that the school system is a little bit different in the things that they are teaching you. One of the amendments is the 13th Amendment, which actually is the abolishment of SL Avery. So as you can see there, those are the only times in which, SL Avery is actually allowed, but in the most part, it's not allowed whatsoever, especially within the United States or any of its territories, which, one of its territories is kind of like Puerto Rico. So in the United States, you cannot do this. So you cannot be an SL Ave depending on, who the president is or any of that kind of stuff. Like, you're not going to be an SL Ave, okay? And if Donald Trump even decided to try to do some of those things, that is when our judicial branches would actually step in and cause for these things not to happen because that is actually unlawful and it is against federal law. If anything, that can probably be something that they would, investigate in on him, and he may be serving federal time for doing something like that. And last but not least, the thing that I wanted to talk about is the main thing that Trump is thinking of starting the minute that he gets into office. So as you guys can see here from this heading, Trump is actually going to start a mass deportation the minute that he enters the office. So here's my thoughts. If Donald Trump wasn't someone that you wanted to be in office, the main thing that you can do right now is to pretty much get in touch with people within your cities as well as states and try to figure out different ways that you can be involved in trying to stand up for things within your city or your state. Especially if it's something that he's aiding in, we do, and it's something that you're not for. As far as all of the people that were saying that, they voted for Kamala and things like that, and that they did, want her to be in office, I honestly feel like a lot of these people lied. Y'all dragged me so crazy on, well, YouTube, not really on TikTok, but when I stated that a lot of these celebrities are getting paid to represent, a lot of these politicians, allegedly. And y'all said that I was making it up and everything else, but as you can see, a lot of people switched their votes up when it was necessary for themselves. And I feel like Azalea Banks definitely proved that for us. And I feel like, honestly, there's a lot of people that are on this app with a lot of fake outrage, and it's probably them that were the ones that voted for Donald Trump. They probably are the main ones screaming and hollering at their cell phones right now, but they were the main ones bubbling in his name when it came down to them giving in their official ballots. Because at the end of the day, your vote is actually extremely confidential. You're the only person that's, able to express who you actually voted for. And if you're as bold as Azalea Banks, you're going to actually show people the bubbles that you've actually bubbled in. But other than that, people are doing what they want to do and vote for who they want to vote for. And I feel like as a whole, we have to just be able to be understanding that people do think differently in the world. You can't be upset that a person decided to choose a different candidate than what you chose. And I think that it's just ridiculous to go on your phone and make up allegations that you think is going to happen to you simply because Donald Trump is elected again. At the end of the day, this isn't the first time we've had him for president, and this is going to be the last. But I mean, we've had him before. We weren't SL-aved, so I mean, I think that we'll be okay. I just think that at the end of the day, you've got to put your faith in the Almighty rather than putting your faith in men or women, depending on how you voted. But that's my opinion. What's yours?